Greetings and salutations again. Thanks for coming back. Introductory raid course here. Today we're going to be talking about gear and what to do with it and what not to do with it and what have you. I don't know if you ever had this problem, but I remember younger days playing D&D, and I'd finish an encounter, and the dungeon master would give me my loot, and I'd be like, dude, why do I have this ukulele? I'm not a bard. I don't use a ukulele. I'm a ranger. I will put this in the fire sooner than I will use it. So what's the deal? And he would just laugh at me and just mock my pain. Raid doesn't do that. In Raid, any piece of gear at any rarity level, at any star level, of any type, of any set, can be used by any character at any time. Yes, it comes at a cosmetic cost. So there's no Vorpal weapon or Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch or what have you. That doesn't exist, but the flexibility of being able to use any equipment in any slot for anyone it's a relief, honestly, and it allows for a lot of hero flexibility, a lot of different ways to do things, and I like different ways of doing things. Let's get into the gear basics first, and then we'll talk more later about other stuff. Okay, now I am of the opinion that a YouTube video with a person in it is more engaging and more fun, but this is a very data-driven subject, so I thought I would surrender my visage to screen real estate so you can actually see what I'm talking about without having to try to move the screen around a bunch. So without further ado, let me get back to the screen. Okay, so gear. What we're talking about here are differences in rarity and star level and the way they work together. Okay, so star level determines how strong the main stat of a piece of gear can be, and its rarity determines the strength of its substats. Okay, and I'll give you an example. It's not a perfect summary, but it's close. So here we have this epic piece of 4-star gear worn by my Crimson Slayer. You can see that the max is 190, and that since it's epic, it has 3 substats revealed. A legendary will have all 4 substats revealed. Okay, and the max level is 16. Every 4 levels, it will reveal a substat. If the substat is already revealed, then every 4 levels you get a roll to make a substat at random stronger. Okay, so this is level 8. I've rolled twice because I hit 4, I hit 8, and I increased the hit points once, and I increased crit damage percent once. Okay, if I were to look at a 4-star piece of uncommon gear, if the screen will ever change, thank you very much. Okay, this one is not leveled, but since it's uncommon, 1 substat will be readily available. You can see 1 substat. The rest are still hidden, but if we were to upgrade this to 16, we would see all the substats. But we would only get 1 roll because only 1 substat is already set. Okay, so and I'll show you. We'll upgrade this to 4, just right here. When we hit level 4, that 4% will be increased. Okay, so now it's 9%. If we were to upgrade to 8, we will have a new bonus substat will be revealed, but we will never be able to improve it. Okay, whatever it rolls out right now, whatever stat this is, that's what I got. I have accuracy, it's at 8, it's going to stay that way forever. If I upgraded to 12, which I'm not going to do because that would be crazy, it's fine, you can do it if you wanted to. But if I were to upgrade that to 12, it would have another substat at random with a number that I would never be able to improve, and then at 16, another substat at random that I'd never be able to improve. The only thing that would happen is that this would then be max 190, because that's what a 4-star weapon always is. Whereas if I go to my any day now screen, if I go to my epic, you'll see that max is also 190, right? Star level, main stat, maximum. That's pretty much what it translates to. Rarity, purple, reveals 3 substats, and so every 4 levels you get a roll. So at level 12, Let's just see if we can do this without breaking anything. Yeah, and I realize that upgrading weapons is upgrading gear in general is torture. Basically, it's a form of torture. Come on, you can do it. Let's go, guys. Come on. Pay no attention to the silver rapidly disappearing from my inventory. No one said it was going to be easy, folks, but it will be informative whenever it happens. Hopefully it will be soon. Look, I only have so many anecdotes, game. Let's go. Holy cow. Oh. Yep. The things we do for art. Alright. So that's it. Then when I go to level 16, it'll just be a base stat that will not have any kind of upgrade to it. Here I rolled an extra crit damage. That's kind of cool. Speed I would have been just as happy with. Alright, but crit damage and speed, as you progress through the game, become very important stats. Okay, moving on. There will be times when you'll have a 5-star common gear, and you'll think, hey, is this as good or better than a lower star rating of a higher rarity? Well, that's a good question. It's up to you. The main stat is always going to be stronger with 5 stars, but you could potentially have better substats, right? So up here we have a resistance and an attack percentage that are never going to get any better. That's what they are. The hit points will increase. Let's see what the top hit point percentage is. 50% for 5 stars. 6 stars, 60%. 5 stars, 50%. 4 stars, 40%, etc. So we will have, any day now, we will have better main stat. So if you only wanted hit points, that's all you cared about, you'd want to go with the 5-star common, even though it's a much lower rarity. This is 2 rarity levels higher, but it's going to have better substats. Right? This has 2 rolls on attack percentage already, so you're going to be able to do more damage at the cost of less hit points. So really, it's up to you and what you want. Just you can see over the screen here, there'll be a comparison of what goes up, what goes down if you swap a piece of gear out. So if you have an item that is a lower star level but higher rarity and it has great substats, it very well could be a much better piece of equipment than the higher star level low rarity item. But then vice versa could be true. It all depends on what you want, what you're going for, and what you're trying to accomplish with the character. Now you've probably noticed that the top row gear all have fixed stats. The weapon is always attack, the helmet is always hit points, the shield is always defense. Not so for the middle row, where all the attributes are vastly different than the fixed ones you'll find at the top. And they don't just spawn as flat rates too. They can be percentages. And as you progress through the game, you much want to prioritize percentages over flat stats, just because that's how math works. Conversely, in the very beginning stages, it might be better to have something flat because, again, the math could be that the flat stat is greater than your percentage. So you do want to look at the total stats here just to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But for the most part, especially as you progress, percentages are going to be more valued over flat rates. So for instance, I have a crit damage here, I have attack percent here, and I have hit point percent here. So we're used to seeing above, a flat attack or a flat hit point rate. And we don't have to limit ourselves to that in this middle row here. So just keep that in mind as you go through. You'll be getting, as you progress through the game, towards the end game, you'll be getting a lot of flat stat gear that you just immediately identify as junk. And you'll sell straight away to replenish your silver and actually upgrade stuff that you want to upgrade. Alright, and the final row is the jewelry row. You see a ring, there's an amulet, and there's a spot for a banner. The last two are locked. To wear a amulet or a banner, you have to have ascended your hero to 5 and 6 stars respectively. So it requires some investment before you can gear them up. Now, these items are found primarily in the spider dungeon, but also as drops occasionally from either event rewards or login rewards or a clan boss. There's a couple different ways you can get them, but primarily it's spider. And we'll go there real quick because there are some stat differentials that you can see between them. For instance, the ring will only spawn with 3 stats: attack, hit points, and defense. I'll show you that. And they're all faction specific too, so that's another wrinkle. So you could be running spider, and you're like, man, I really want this for my barbarian, and then everything you get is undead hordes or something, and it can get kind of frustrating. But keep plugging away as we are wont to do in this game, and eventually you'll get it. The amulets have an extra stat, crit damage, which is nice, and then there's 2 extra stats for the banner, which is accuracy and resist, as well as the standard hit point, attack, and defense that they all come with. Stage 4 is when the amulets start dropping, and then stage 8 for the banners. Now, the best gear is found in dungeons, just like the splash screen in Raid informs you. But it's a crapshoot to get what you want. Like, say you really want some speed gear, and you keep running dragons, but it keeps dropping the wrong thing, or drops with really bad stats, and you're getting frustrated, and you're spending a lot of energy. Well, you could conceivably go to the campaign and go into Palace of Ravia. Again, we're just talking about speed right now as an example. Go into Palace of Ravia, and you see, oh, look, there's a little speed icon. And open up the palace and say, oh, I'm looking for gloves. So you know you got to run stage 4. And you could run stage 4 like a couple of times until you get the gloves that you want with the stat you want. Like, say you wanted crit damage. Run it 5 times or so. Maybe you get it the first time. You never know. But run that. Granted, it'll usually be uncommon, so it'll just be gray. But if you're just looking after the main stat, then that's fine. Alternatively, you could fight the boss. The boss has the potential to drop any of these pieces, for any of the gear slats. Drop speed gear at a higher rarity level, up to rare. So you get some blue speed boots, which would be pretty sweet, right? Also, it synergizes a bit with your daily quests. Every other day, I think it's either campaign level or fight a campaign boss. So if you're looking for a piece anyway and you have it in the daily quest, just fight that boss until you get the piece you want. And hey, look at that, I'm back. Thanks for watching this. I really appreciate it. One final note, you're going to be getting a lot of gear. You're going to get it through the campaign, you're going to get it through dungeons, you're going to get it through your arena rewards, you're going to get it through clan boss, you're going to get it maybe daily login rewards if you're still getting those. You're going to get a lot of it, and some of it is going to be horrible, and don't feel bad for selling it. Stick with, if you find something that you like, keep it. If you look at it and like, I don't really like that combination of stats, I'm not going to use this for anything, don't be afraid to sell it. You're going to need silver too to upgrade the gear that you actually do like. Alright, thank you for sticking around, and I will see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this at all, consider liking, consider commenting, and consider subscribing. Alright? Thanks a lot. See you later.